A good friend of mine, friend of the show, Baron Davis on the program.
Yay!
What's up, man?
What's happening?
You're not gonna clap for yourself?
Nah, I'm just clapping for the team.
Yo, speaking of the team, I read a report that you was playing, was it D-League basketball? You went back in.
Yeah.
How come?
I've been working out. I started feeling better, and I wanted to see how I measured up, against some of the young
So
talent.
like the ego of it just getting out there.
No, but you were trying to come back, I thought.
Yeah, I wanted to play.
Oh, for real?
And how'd you match up?
I did pretty good. I think I averaged like 14, a few assists. I've been off for like 4 years. And so I was in the gym just like, damn, man, this is fun. And then my homeboys was like, man, you can play in the league, dog. Like, what you doing? So I was like, all right, let's sign me up somewhere. Let's go.
So you gonna get signed? I mean, what's the next step?
The next step is to have a good summer and then talk to some NBA teams about signing or going to training camp or whatnot.
You gonna keep the Jheri curl when you play in the league and bring it all the way back?
Yeah, man, I said when Kobe retired, I'm gonna retire the curl, so I'm just letting it, have its last kind of month.
Yo, it's the real OG Ice Cube.
Yo, can we
Boys
see
in the
the whole
Grease
thing?
curl.
What's up?
Man, you got my head on, but
Wow.
No, it's official 1987 colors curl.
Yo, it's real.
Yeah.
Doughboy.
Yeah.
Yo, why'd you do that, man? What, just on the throwback?
Yeah, just
Just cause you were born at home.
man.
Like,
It's
you know what?
Yeah.
Let me go get a perm real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're not drinking 40s, though. You didn't go back to the OE, did you?
No, I ain't. Nah, hell no.
They don't know.
I'm still drinking Kool-Aid though.
I could kill you too out here.
Either
That
they
sugar's
don't know,
addictive.
don't show,
Talk about it.
or don't care about what's happening in the hood.
Talk about
It's funny.
it.
We had a whole conversation about sugar in sports, and me and Ebert were talking about how so many athletes are addicted to sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how it's a
Like
real
candy
thing.
addicts.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I'm a candy addict too.
Are you really?
Yeah, I gotta have like Now Later, Sour Patch Kids, all that.
Every
like,
day.
Love, yeah, like love.
But you're
love
not. Are you
candy.
not pre-diabetic or anything?
Nuh-uh.
You're good.
Yeah,
Yo, you gotta
I
have
should
to
be
deal
straight.
with that. You know that, right?
What?
Getting off that.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause-
I've been weaning myself off of it. It's tough though.
It's a real
it's
addiction.
It's a real addiction. Sugar is a crazy addiction, but
I have a theory. I don't think anybody's took it as far, but definitely as you get older, because Derrick Rose was a candy addict.
yeah.
Lamar Odom was too.
Lamar Odom too. I feel like that sugar from being a kid starts to mess up your muscle fibers and adds to some injury things. Like for real. Because if you think about, if you're really addicted to candy, like I read articles where like Derrick Rose in college that was what he was eating for breakfast.
Yeah.
Was Twizzlers. That was breakfast.
Well, but that's a healthy breakfast.
Yeah.
And soda, like all day.
That's
and
like a common
But growing up in the hood, though, like you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that nobody's telling you that you're killing yourself or
Right.
like you're
Of course.
damaging your body.
Right. Nah, for sure. Tiki punch and some fun dip in the morning for breakfast.
Now speaking of people getting injured,
Wait, did you?
Yeah,
that's
tiki.
hood. You know how tiki punch?
I know it's so hood. I don't know what it is. I don't know what
Fun
tiki
dip?
punch is. I know what fun
Fun
dip is.
dip. You might as well just. It's like drinking sugar. like this.
I mean, the stick that you serve it with is made of sugar,
right.
so you can eat it.
Yo,
Then.
what's your favorite candy?
Right now, Sour Patch Kids and all-time classic Now Laters.
Every day.
Not every day, but
Oh, so you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, every so often.
Would you ever let your kid? You have
When
two
I
children. now.
binge though, like if I go like, all right, if I go to the movies, I get a bag of Sour Patch Kids, and then I have like 2 or 3 bags.
Dang.
That's real.
Would you let your kids eat sweets?
Nah, nope. Not candy. Not
Not
candy.
Do you
Just
have
all
juice?
na-
Like my daughter, no juice.
No juice. Nah, just
Nothing.
fruit.
No soda,
Yeah,
nothing.
Just fruit.
Now, but now,
That's
bro,
it.
as he gets older, though, are you gonna let her have like as a treat? Would you go
We'll
out
never.
for
I'll never buy it for her. And it'll never be in the house.
candy?
Candy
So
or
she-
soda or juice.
What
So
about
if she
ice
gets
cream
it
though?
at
Would you go out for
school?
family ice cream
Ice
after
cream,
dinner?
ice cream, yeah.
Maybe do ice cream because we haven't even got to dairy. My daughter's never had dairy. before
right.
yet.
Oh wow.
Never had
Damn,
dairy.
dude, I'm a bad parent.
No. I don't even know if that's the right
I'm like,
thing.
you
I
want
just
to stop
know.
crying? I give you some ice cream.
There you go. A little,
Well, that my daughter's on that now, where she gets in the car and she associates sometimes, like after she's done, we do this kick and play soccer thing. She associates getting in the car with I get to have a snack. Nah, you don't get to have a snack. You're gonna be mad, and I'm gonna just listen to you be mad.
Why? Because you don't want her to always expect.
I don't
a
want
snack.
her to associate that with I get a snack if I do X, Y, Z.
Right,
Like
right.
I don't.
Well, look, listen, bro, you're doing a step better than me. At this point with my dog, for him to not bark at me and Alexa when we hug or kiss, my dog started doing that in the last year. When we
He's
get
jealous.
It's not. I don't think it's jealous. It can be. I'm trying to figure it out. But to wean him off of doing that, I'm giving him treats just to not bark at me from
I'm
hugging
guilty
my
of that
wife.
too. I'm guilty of that too.
I'm like, all right, just leave me alone, please, please.
Yeah, you need to
So, I
cut
mean,
that
guess
out.
what, guys? My daughter's not a pet.
Sorry.
She's actually
I don't like him talking about Bear like he's just a pet, though. He's more than a pet.
So Baron, the curl is staying activated.
Yeah, for
Yo, what
sure.
kind of you using Whirl of Curl, Carefree Curl?
Yo, Ebro, come on, man.
Yo,
We're
we gotta have
NBA
real Jheri
playoffs,
Curl
though.
talk.
The playoffs are happening.
No,
You gotta have
and he has
curl
a
activated
documentary.
talk,
That's what he's
man.
gonna talk
This is
about.
important.
What about the documentary?
You know how many people
Focus.
actually have a Jheri Curl right now?
Only him.
We're gonna interview
Man,
the only.
But I've been had it though.
It's
You know
old,
what I
It's
mean?
about
man.
a year,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen you.
Yeah,
No,
nah,
last time
it's-
you were here, you didn't have it.
Nah, that was over a year.
A little over a year ago
It's been
already.
that
Yeah.
long.
Wait,
But
so
you know,
I need-
it's been that way. You know what I mean?
What kind of activator? This is
Man,
important.
just activator.
You don't have a
BD
special
activator.
brand?
Nah, the gold bottle.
The
Carefree
gold
Curl.
bottle.
That's with the red writing.
Gold bottle.
That's
I don't know
Carefree
if it's
Curl.
carefree. I don't know if it's carefree. It's a gold bottle. I got some cool mix. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got
some
your
cool
own blend
mix.
you don't put
Yeah,
together.
I got
So
my
some
own mix.
special fruits and berries.
Yeah, for sure. It's just tough traveling with it. You gotta break the bottles down to the little travel size
I feel like
bottle.
the TSA agent would know, like, yeah, this is curl activated. She should give you respect. She should know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They don't play.
I got a couple of travel packets. I knew you were.
Yo, the thing, I know Baron long enough to know he's trolling the whole world with the Jheri Curl. Like, he wants people to talk.
Man, I mean, I just wanted a curl, man. I never had hair before.
Well, also,
I've
you
been
have to-
bald
he's been-
head all my life.
But also,
I'm like,
Ebro-
you know
Ebro-
what? I need to have a curl before I can't grow no more hair.
But he's also been trolling in that he's been nursing this comeback for like 3 years. The first story on ESPN.com that was like Baron Davis still wants to play in the NBA.
I did.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But you're still.
But that's I did a comedy spoof because I was
Right, you
I
did
was
a
just
spoof.
trying to
Oh.
I was trying to rid myself of just poke fun of the fact that I'm probably not gonna play again. I had that bad injury. Let me just do something funny. To show my personality or whatever.
But do you think there's any chance you could actually suit up again?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think there's a chance it could happen?
For sure.
Of the old guys who's still playing, who impresses you the most?
Jamal Crawford.
He just got 6 Man of the Year.
I was saying,
Yeah.
Vince is still pretty good.
Vince is still pretty good. Tim Duncan is still good. I mean, a lot of the older guys are still good because they don't have to play that much, and when they do, they're real effective. Pablo Prigioni, he played well, had a great year for the Clippers.
What do you think of Kobe's last game?
I was there. It was off the chain.
It was crazy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was off the
Were you
chain.
surprised that he was able to do? I mean, granted, he took 100 shots, but were you surprised that he was able to literally to get that done?
No, not at all. I mean, when you think of Kobe Bryant, it's just anything is possible when he on the court.
How were your seats?
I was right there. I just said I was
But were
right there
you-
at the game,
But
man.
hold on now.
Were you next to
Don't let
Hov?
him
Were
play
you
you.
next to
Don't let
Hov?
him play
I'm not trying to
you.
play him. I'm saying those court sides were very tough for that game, and you're not a former Laker.
Hey, man.
But he played for the Clippers, though.
Hey,
The Clippers, not the Lakers.
I'm from LA, and
Right.
I got a Jheri curl.
They're
They're not gonna put no Jheri curl in the
some respect
stands,
on
you know what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
Put some respect
Put
on
some
my
respect
curl,
on your
man.
curls. My bad,
Put some
my bad.
respect on my curl.
All right, so-
man.
Yeah, what's
I'll
going on
sit
with the
next to the
documentary?
weekend. Matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, lit.
So, on basketball, you have Chris Paul, broken hand.
Yeah.
Blake is out.
Yep.
Right? Now-
Steph's
now
out.
Steph's out.
Yeah.
They're saying he may come back from the sprained knee. You've had a couple knee injuries.
Yeah.
2, right?
Uh-huh.
Severe ones. You as a guard that had the 3, was exciting in Golden State. Went to division conference, I
Yeah.
think, with Golden State.
That wasn't a word what you just said. But keep
Whatever.
going.
I
I know what
Western
you're
Conference Finals. That's what I'm looking for. What do you see in Steph Curry right now? Because a lot of people forget he had bad ankles.
Yeah.
What do you see in him in playing that position? Because you guys play the same position.
I love Steph Curry. I mean, he's.
But his body, his physical, dealing with the injuries, coming back from the injuries.
That was freak. Had dude not slip, and he don't slip and twist his knee, he fine. He comes back from the ankle injury. Ain't nobody really saying much. In basketball, it's just freak things happen, freak injuries. But I actually think that he's gonna bounce back.
Well, would you be even though it was a freak injury and was slipping on the wet court, would you still be extra cautious bringing him back just because he did have the 2 things back to back?
For sure.
And maybe see how long you can go without him before.
For sure. They got a good enough team, and they just like the ultimate team. I think they got a good enough team to step up and kind of buy him an extra week. If it's 2 weeks, maybe he take another week. You got somebody like Steph Curry. You have to protect him for the future because that's multiple championships.
Are you still picking Golden State? Is that who you'd rock with to win the championship?
Yeah, for sure.
And who do you think gets out between San Antonio? If we end up getting San Antonio OKC, who do you expect to get the win there?
I think San Antonio in 7.
Okay, but a great series.
I think it's going to be a great series because KD and Westbrook, they on a mission. They look like they on a mission. My only hang up with OKC is who's going to be that third guy, that third and fourth guy. Because when you're playing against San Antonio, you need, a 3 and a 4, your 3 and your 4 person to be in double digits and have great games in order to beat a team like that.
Word up.
So talk to us about this documentary that you executive produced, and you partnered up with Showtime, right?
Yeah. So I produced it and directed it. It was a passion project. It's about the Drew League, basketball league.
You spoke on this when you was here last time.
Yeah.
Now, explain to the audience that may not know about the Drew League, because this is big in basketball in L.A. and for kids.
Yeah, this is so it's a league, Pro-Am league in L.A. that's been going on for over 40 years, and it's in the heart of South Central Watts. It's grown over 40 years to be the premium summer Pro-Am where, tons and tons of NBA players, especially local guys, come back to hone their skills. It's also a league for redemption for guys, in LA that maybe didn't make the right decisions that just need basketball in their lives, just to keep themselves going and staying in a positive environment. And I think most importantly for that community, there's not a lot of positive things and not a lot of resources in the hood. So those kids get to see their favorite NBA players or, be around professional basketball players every weekend. And so it's really like a peace mechanism in the community.
So the documentary, what's the official title, bro?
It's the Drew, No Excuse, Just Produce.
And how long were you working on this? Because over a year ago you was here. You told us out because then you released another documentary back when you was here a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that was Soul Man, a 30 for 30. This one, I've been working on it for 3 years. Really almost 4.5 if you consider the lockout. That was kind of like the tipping point for the league. And that's when we picked up cameras when KD, LeBron, Kobe, all of them went down.
And so
there.
during the lockout, you said it was a tipping point for the league. Why? What happened during that lockout?
Well, there was no basketball being played. And the Drew, Dino Smiley who had been running the league for over 35 years, he had really come to a point where he was like, yo, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So while that's happening, the lockout is happening and nobody got a place to play. And so they were begging Dino to keep the league going and so keep it open so guys can have some run. And then the next thing you know, all these young NBA stars start showing up to the league. All these LA local guys start coming home, showing up to the league. And then it was just lit. It was in the middle of Watts. Like the games was packed. Fire marshals was there every day, and no violence and nothing like that. And it really gave the NBA guys a sense that like, yo, you can come to the hood and be safe. And the environment around it just made the intensity more.
Yeah, we have Rucker, the EBC here in Rucker uptown, similar environment. Just it brings the community out. It's a family affair. Kids, everybody's out there. Nobody wants to disrespect. They just want to see some great basketball.
Same thing with Dykeman.
Dykeman too, yeah. Dykeman courts up there.
Yeah, basketball is a thing. Basketball in this film is like really like a peace mechanism. Sports brings people from all walks of life together, and I think, in this documentary, that's what we try to convey to the audience is, with basketball and something as small as, this community, it's like the only thing that they have, and it's something that everybody can kind of rally around. And so the Bloods, the Crips, the Hustlers, all that, when they come in that gym, it's usually really about the sport and nothing else.
When, where you grew up, there's a lot of gangs where you grew up, and you was one of the fortunate kids that had this amazing talent. So you was able to go to, we've talked
we talked last
extensively about you going to school with, outside of your neighborhood because of your talents, right? But even today, I mean, it's a much different time than the 80s, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But what is the atmosphere like? I mean, obviously there's still gangs and gang problems, and there's still a lot going on, but I feel like there's a lot more peace and a desire to have peace.
There's a desire and a want to have peace, but it's still active. These
and
kids,
what's the activity usually based on? Just young dudes just trying to be wild, or is there actual because at a time when I was a kid, it was really like turf wars over selling crack. It was, It was about like who gonna run what set to get the money.
Yeah, I think nowadays, especially with social media, you got the whole like cyberbullying, but like, people saying you can tweet and say whatever you want. So a lot of times like these turf wars are happening, over social media, and dudes calling dudes out, and or saying whatever, and that's kind of sparking up stuff too. But it's still potent. It's still potent in the inner city. People dying, kids shooting.
Heavy.
They had like last year it was 100 days, 100 nights. This year is something else where it's just.
And when you say it was 100 days, 100 nights, for those that don't know what that meant like every day gangs was on the task.
Yeah, gangs was on the task, and they were people just looking to kill people.
They just had the largest New York City arrests of gangs in the history of New York City a couple days ago.
Oh wow.
Over 100 gang members, over 200 gang members were arrested in the last 2 weeks in New York City. Just straight shakedown,
amazing.
Not having it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
and they just start having gangs like that out here in New York.
Yeah,
right?
it's relatively. I mean, you have Crips and Bloods, but then they have other types of gangs, right? And it's it's organized crime sometimes, but they're not having it. They're not having it at all. And then in Jersey, you got a whole nother situation. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is obviously festering in low income neighborhoods where you have young people who have idle time. And with that idle time, somebody comes along like, yo, young buck, you want to make some money?
Yeah.
Move like this, or to be safe on your block so you don't get jumped,
right?
Or whatever. People make choices. You were a person though that I've known long enough to see you actually keep people safe, even though you had how do I say this correctly? You knew a lot of people. You were connected. You were always connected, but you were always the guy that kept everyone safe. Yeah. Is that still something that you're active doing?
Now that I got kids, not so much.
Not so much.
But I'm still a part of the fabric. I'm still keep my ear to the streets, and a lot of things kind of like find its way in and around like through me. But I think it's important to just really try to understand that there's no resources in the community,
and that's why if people felt like they had more opportunity and some hope.
Yeah,
they would choose. Look, I always tell people, the life of selling dope or being in a gang is not something that people would choose if they had another opportunity.
Right. Or a couple. Yeah. Or knew who they were.
Right.
You got a lot of, and this was addressed in the film, is you got a lot of fatherless child, especially for young men. And so when you growing up, man, you don't know who you are. You don't know, if damn, dude, I got a lump in my neck. Like, where I get that from? You have no idea. So you just really like out in the world trying to figure out, who you are as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid. You thinking about surviving instead of thinking about like, who, like, where's my dad? Like, why do I look like this? You constantly asking yourself questions. So it breeds insecurity and a lot of vulnerability. And then I think that's when they get sucked up into, F it, you know what I mean?
Feeling like the OGs will take care of me, but these
I ain't
guys
got nothing else to
astray.
live for.
Right.
I ain't nobody coming out here handing out no scholarships or no job opportunities and things like that. So I got to get it the way I got to get it, and usually that's that mentality.
Are you politically, you vote?
I do vote.
You do vote, or do you have a candidate?
Chuck E. Cheese this time.
You don't like none of them.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I felt Bernie though. I felt what Bernie was saying.
I mean, I gotta just keep getting into it. I you know what it is? There hasn't been a candidate that has really convinced me that they should be the president. Like the president, that's a big job, and right now it's just, even though it's smear campaigns and things like that, I don't think nobody has really stepped up to the plate and really offer like a policy or solutions, or they don't sound like 100% confident to me. And I just want to sit back and kind of wait and see what
it's hard to follow Barack, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Barack, while there's a lot of people who dislike Barack,
right.
and on Barack's watch, there has been a lot of violence in inner cities, right? A lot of black men who look like Barack have been under fire, under siege, dying, and going to jail. So that's definitely a headline. But there's been a lot of things that have worked out.
Yeah, for sure.
For a lot of other people. So, he's been a great president. I think on paper, when you look at it, he's probably been one of the best we've seen in a long time.
It'll end up shaking out that way.
It will, for sure. When you 20 years from now, 40 years from now, when you look back at this time, you're gonna see that a lot of the things that he did, were really thought provoking and futuristic.
He bred confidence too, like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Like when you saw him, even because people forget that when he ran the first time, the average American who didn't pay attention to politics didn't know him very well.
Right.
He'd only been a senator for a few years. Like he wasn't that experienced relatively, but there was something about the way he handled himself that made you feel confident.
Yeah, for sure. You knew it was cool to be an American, and we had everything under control. I don't know about now, man. You
don't know about someone who goes,
Trump and
America's gonna be terrific, people. Terrific.
Even though you're not passionate about any of the candidates yet, but you'll vote regardless, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You'll definitely exercise your right to vote, which is important.
You pressuring him?
Well, yeah, because I feel like a lot of people. Remember, we had this discussion that a lot of people are choosing not to vote. They're like, I'm not really feeling anybody. I'd rather not vote.
But that's like,
But how would you have it? You rather somebody just vote?
That's what they
vote
want.
for somebody.
Hey,
or,
I mean, you're really picking the lesser of two evils, and
Yeah.
you're voting against what you know you don't want.
right,
At least.
right.
You know what happens?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what happens to people who don't vote?
They play themselves.
Facts.
Do you understand me? And also, Baron, remember.
Vegan alert.
Right.
You hear me?
Yeah, he was just speaking on that with the sugar and all that.
Really?
I'm trying
Vegan
to
alert.
trying to get on that. I'm trying to get on that.
And also, while we're speaking of that, if you want to have sugar, have natural sugar.
I love apples.
Yep, friends.
I
Apples are
can't.
friends.
Love apples.
Apples are friends.
Hey, it's always good to see you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yo,
Appreciate
congratulations.
y'all, man.
And so
Thank
we're gonna see you back in the league potentially.
For sure.
You're obviously executive producing these documentaries. How more of those? I'm sure you got more on the in plans to make.
Yeah, I mean, this one right here is just kind of like the baby, and thanks to Showtime for hooking it up and premiering it tonight. And
Tonight, what time?
6 o'clock.
So that's 8
o'clock
p.m. Eastern time.
And the countdown is on to cut the Jheri curl because Kobe's retired. What are we doing, B?
Yeah, I know, man.
You don't want to let it go?
It's hard.
Nah. I mean, I really want to let it hang to my shoulders.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say
my
that.
next move is to get the crinkles, to lay
Yeah,
down with
to
the
lay it
finger
down,
wave,
lay it down with the
what I
finger
mean?
waves.
That would be so
With the
ill.
pencil,
Old
right? Get
DJ
the
Quick.
pencil
Right, right.
If you went the old DJ
on,
Quick
man.
look, what?
Then you gonna go with the Shirley, like what, Drew Down? You gonna go
Drew
with the
down after that?
Nah, I can't get the shot. I'm going to go with the big perm, though, like
Big
Jerome
perm,
from
like,
Martin.
Big
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I can give me a perm after that.
Yo, Baron Davis.
Baron.
give it up, man.